Good morning, welcome back now from full bush summer to yoni steaming and even genital sunbathing. Intimate grooming trends are everywhere online this time of year.
First day and we were like, come on, this is what you have to do, Daniela. Right? Full bush summer. Let's go. Here to separate facts from the fads is Dr Aisling Loy from Blackrock Women's Health. How are you doing, Aisling? How's life?
Good morning. I'm good, thanks.
These things, there's so many viral trends. Genuinely, when it comes to what women are doing down here with their grooming. And there's so many trends about healthcare online that doctors are just trying to keep up sometimes, right?
That's exactly. There's a lot of wellness influencers and a lot of what they're saying isn't necessarily based in medical or scientific fact. So, when it comes to genital grooming and all of the things that people do down there, we want to give some information to say what's good and what's not. And personal preference comes into it. But, you know, there's no medical reason to remove your hair. And in fact, sometimes removing hair in that area can cause issues.
Like what kind of issues straight in do you see coming into the clinic?
Coming into the clinic, you can see folliculitis. That's where people, from shaving, they'll get minor abrasions and they'll get infections in their skin. They can also, because there's more friction, skin-on-skin friction, they can get little, tears, and then you're more exposed to viruses like HPV, herpes, infections, because skin on skin, that protective layer is gone, so you're just more vulnerable. So we'll see increase in genital infections as well.
If you get it, and for men and women, if you get it all off. Right, I genuinely didn't know when I was watching Carrie in Sex and the City getting her first full Brazilian that this actually, do you know what I mean? Like that was the first time I heard
don't hear about that.
Didn't have a clue that it could increase things like this.
So it can leave your skin just more exposed. And your skin has, like the hair there has a function, it's protective and it creates a particular environment. It creates a layer of moisture, a layer of warmth, and your microbiome in that area is reliant on a particular natural way. And humans have been around for 300,000 years at least, and it's only in this last little micro dot of time that this shift in grooming has happened. So, you know, if we go back even to 1800s or 1900s, this didn't happen. And it sort of came in the 1940s and 50s with the invention of the bikini in France. And as more and more skin got exposed, people got into grooming. And then moving into the noughties with the explosion of pornography and availability of that and social media, it then became sort of culturally normal. And like some people do it for religious reasons or because they prefer it, and that's all okay. But it's just to know that whenever you're removing the hair down there, you are removing a little protective layer. And it's okay to do, but just to think about putting something like an emollient or a barrier on your skin to protect to add the layer that you've removed.
And what do you mean by emollient there? Is this when you're shaving, waxing, like using the cream or lasering?
Yeah, so to just add a little barrier, so something that's not fragranced, that's plain. There's plenty available in our pharmacies.
Does it? Okay, I know. Listen, you're a doctor, I get this, but is there one that's better or worse than the other when it comes to how you groom down there, whether you're a man or a woman?
Again, it's personal preference. It's important the way you do it. So say if you were shaving, it's important to make sure you're using hot water, a clean, fresh razor and a moisturiser on the area to shave in the direction of hair growth. So or if you're doing waxing, ideally to go to a professional. So there's not one that's better than the other, but sometimes if people have skin issues, abrasions, folliculitis, infections in the area, we say, look, if you prefer to do it, just trim for the moment. Don't scrape on the skin because it can be very, very damaging.
Anyone waxing at home by themselves, you deserve an award for
They're brave,
Brave people.
And then happy to see a return to the full bush then?
Yeah, I mean, it's something, you see a shift now with the Gen Z. I think it's more to do with body autonomy and this body positivity movement, and you know that these ideals of that affected more the millennials and older generations. I think there's just this pushback against that, and while some will still do it, there'll be people who are like, no, I'm comfortable with how I am natural, and go with that. And it's just nice to see people being a bit more autonomous and not sort of go with what is being pushed on them by media.
And we all know that, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow gets headlines every single time she talks about steaming her vagina.
And she's very clever, very clever with that, because she knows that's headline grabbing.
It's headline grabbing and it's marketing. So when it comes to something like yoni cleansing or steaming.
Yeah.
What is this?
So yoni is it's a Sanskrit word that means vagina, and it is this thing that I think it was bought 4 years ago by Gwyneth Paltrow, who was selling a steamer for the vagina. And there's absolutely no scientific basis for this. The vagina is a self-cleaning, like a little self-cleaning oven, so to speak, and it is, it does its job perfectly well. And so this is whereby women will stand over a steamer and steam into the vagina, which could
Have you tried, Mary?
No, I wouldn't do that for. I wouldn't do it from my face. No, mine down below. Are you mad? Alan Hughes' face, lads. I'm not even. He's just going. What is that? You don't yoni cleanse?
No,
it's for any gender. It's for any gender.
You add herbs. It's beautiful. It's a whole ritual.
Have you done it? No, you haven't.
So yeah, look, it can disrupt the microbiome. We're really finely tuned there, and the vagina is self-cleaning, and you can end up getting things like bacterial vaginosis, candidiasis, with an upset in the microbiome of the vagina. So
what's bacterial vaginosis?
So bacterial vaginosis is an overgrowth of your lactobacilli, which is normal bacteria in the vagina. We have a particular pH in the vaginal fluid, and it's slightly acidic. And sometimes if you steam and upset that balance, you can get an overgrowth in one or the other. So you could get, there are two sides of the same coin. So bacterial vaginosis, it can give you a malodorous discharge. You can be uncomfortable, more profuse change in colour, change in odour, or candida, which is, most women will know what candida is, will get it at some point, very itchy, very uncomfortable, burning. So all of these things can be related to that.
Okay. Easily treated?
Yes, for most. Some people, like I will see patients who will come in with chronic candida or resistant candida, really difficult. So there are people out there that really do suffer, so they should come and see a specialist if the standard treatments that, their GPs or over-the-counter medications aren't fixing. Yeah.
Something I'm very intrigued by, and I don't know what this says about me and my algorithm, to be honest, but I get a lot of influencer content around tanning your genitalia. Getting your intimate area into the sun. And apparently this is of great benefit for your energy, your libido, your hormones. This is what they're telling us.
I'm hoping my phone doesn't
Who is telling you? Is it the nudist calling? Is it the flasher down the road that's pretending to be a girl online going, girls, it's good for you?
I worry now that this is going to be because we've so much coastal in Ireland, and with this good weather, we're going to see an explosion of this. So yes, I've heard of this. I've actually seen one patient recently, but he was a naturist who did get sunburnt on the head of his penis. But that was because he was on, medications that did make his skin sun sensitive. And then he ended up, and it was months later, he had a permanent scar.
Sorry, the lads behind the camera. Anthony behind the camera just stopped, looked at you and went, what?
So it is something you have to be very careful about. The skin down there is incredibly thin, incredibly delicate. And there's absolutely no scientific. I heard you earlier talking about PubMed searches.
Can I not send one for that? No.
No. So there's no scientific. You won't find a PubMed result showing the benefit of yoni or genital sunbathing. In fact, you can put yourself at risk of skin damage, aging, and you can get melanomas and skin cancers on the skin down there as well. So you have to be very careful. Yeah. So I know we're having good weather, but I don't want to see into the clinic.
But if someone was doing it, they should be putting on SPF. Then I'm not joking.
The point, apparently.
Really, but I think there's there's all of these wellness movements that go against even that advice. So
and I'm sure you're delighted with that.
Yeah, no, absolutely would say the opposite. So SPF really super important for the skin in this weather. Yeah.
Okay, my lovely friends. Have you done any of these things? Anonymous as always, 0896 111 111. We would love to hear from you. Dr Aisling Loy from Blackrock Women's Health. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, Aisling. She was delighted to be doing this, wasn't she? It's like, I'm not a waxer, lads. We'll be back with you very shortly on Ireland AM.